Welcome to In the Kitchen on day 40 of our Proven Cancer Strategies Revealed 90 Days to Cancer Resilience series. And we're in the kitchen today talking about foods that are immunity boosting. We're going to make two things to make a beautiful meal today. We're going to make a roasted tomato soup, and we're going to make a bowl that is amazingly delicious with all sorts of things, chickpeas and kale and quinoa, all great for immunity boosting. So our green immunity bowl. And I want to start by making some quinoa. I have water boiling, and then let me get that on so we can get the quinoa done. And I really just want to show you how easy it is to make these things. And quinoa is an ancient grain that is extremely easy to cook. So let me just put it in the boiling water here. All right. So what I've done is the quinoa that I have is a golden and black quinoa that comes in a package, and it says to boil 2 cups of water, and then add in the quinoa, and then you simmer it for 10 minutes, and then it's done on a medium low heat. So I've got my timer on for 10 minutes, and then our quinoa will be done. Now, what I usually do, because if I'm not in a hurry, is I actually just turn the stove off and let it sit on the burner. Of course, I don't have gas burner because that would be different. But I just let it sit on the burner, and that's fine. It kind of goes a little bit more, but that's how easy it is to make quinoa. Very simple. Now, the quinoa that I buy is already been washed. And what you have to do when you're dealing with nuts and seeds, and quinoa is one of those grains that has enzyme inhibitors on it, and you need to wash them off. I bought quinoa one time, not knowing that you need to do this. I bought quinoa, I usually bought this kind of quinoa that's already washed, and I bought one at Costco. So it was a pretty big amount. And I cooked it without washing it, and it tasted awful. It's got a real bitter taste to it if you don't wash it. And so you think that because it's already pre-washed, you're fine. This morning, I soaked it for about 2 hours before our show. And I want to show you, this is what came out of the water from the smoking. All right. And so even though they wash it, there's still lots of stuff, enzyme inhibitors and things that are actually anti-nutrients and you want to remove this for your digestion. It's better for your digestion. And some of these enzyme inhibitors will actually stop the nutrients from going into your bloodstream and into your body. So always best to do the soaking before you start. So that was my little exhibit A, if you will. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by preparing our vegetables for our roasted tomato and garlic and tomato soup. Of course, I love my garlic. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some tomatoes and just cut them up. And again, this is so easy. We're doing it live because it's very quick and easy. We're just going to cut the tomatoes up, and you can quarter them, or I'm going to kind of make them into halves, quarter it, and then make it into halves, and add that. So you can add your tomatoes. I'm going to add it to a bowl. And the recipe calls for 8 tomatoes. I'm just using half a recipe for myself here today. And I'm going to put it in there. I have some onion that I'm going to cut up. So let me do the onion. And again, I mean, you don't need to be dicing the onion. You do it very quick. So all I'm going to do is I cut off both ends of my onion. I'm going to save half because I'm doing half a recipe. And I'm just going to peel off the skin. Once you cut both ends off and you cut it in half, you can easily peel the skins off. No problem there. And then I'm just going to cut it into like little wedges, if you will. I did 5 cuts, throw it into my little bowl. And all I'm going to do is add a tablespoon of olive oil. And so you want to use extra virgin olive oil. Now you probably hear me talking about using flax oil. Now flax oil has a low smoke point, so you do not use it for cooking at all. So I'm using an extra virgin olive oil. Just going to add in my olive oil. And then I'm going to add in some seasoning. Now I have thyme, basil, cumin, smoked paprika, and a little bit of something else. What else do I have in here? Anyway, I add it all in, probably garlic powder. And then all you need to do is toss it up. Normally I toss it with my hands. I don't know if I want to do that here. And then all I'm going to do is put it on a baking sheet into the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes or so until it's baked. All right. So I am going to use my hands. Why not? All right. I'm going to put it on my baking sheet. But I'm going to leave it out because I'm going to use part of my baking sheet for the next piece, which is my, we're going to put that in the oven. Oh, we have a head of garlic, not just a clove, but a head. We're going to roast that as well. All we're going to do is slice off the top of it. And then we're going to get some of these extra papers off. You don't have to take all the paper off, but I'm just getting the extra stuff off. And then all I'm going to do next is to add a little bit of olive oil to it. And then I'm going to wrap it in foil and roast it. Roast it with our tomatoes on the baking sheet. And basically, that's all we need to do for this recipe for now until it's finished baking. So pretty easy before we get to the blending stage. And I'm going to just kind of get a little head start on the immunity bowl has chickpeas, and I'm going to roast the chickpeas, and I'm just going to put them on the other half of this baking tray. And what I'm going to do is, again, add a little bit of olive oil. You know, olive oil always makes roasted stuff way better. I'm just going to add a little bit, I think about a tablespoon of olive oil. And I have some spices here. This one I've got paprika, cumin, and garlic. And you could change up your spices depending on what your likes are. And I'm just going to mix this up, add it to the baking sheet, and put it in the oven. And this is going to be one of my toppers for my spread them out. And then I'm just going to put this in the oven for about half an hour on 350. So voila, it's going in the oven. Easy peasy, easy peasy. All right. Let me check my quinoa is almost done. Running away here. I'm just going to turn it down a bit and do a little check on the quinoa. Use my oven mitt. All right. Might use a little more time for that quinoa, but we'll see. All right. Now we're going to get some of the other things ready for our immunity bowl. I actually have some kale here. Now you can steam the kale if you want, but I'm just going to make use of the fact that I've got my oven going here, and I'm going to, I've washed it, but I'm going to take the stems off because the stems are hard. Now you can juice the stems. I think my dogs probably would eat the stems if I asked them, if I gave it to them too. So don't throw out the stems, juice them or do something with them. You could put them in a smoothie. That would obliterate them too. And I think that's it. I got 2 big pieces of kale here. And I'm going to use those stems later. And I'm going to just cut it up so that I have bite-sized pieces. And I'm going to let my quinoa go a little longer. It wasn't quite ready. All right. Now I'm just cutting up my kale. And I'm going to take this kale, put it in my bowl. You can add some salt and pepper if you want, but I've been salt and pepper or salt free. I'm not a big pepper fan. So I'm going to add, we'll do a tablespoon of olive oil here too. And this one you're going to bake only for about 10 minutes. You can bake it till it's crispy if you want. Then you kind of have kale chips. Or in my case, I'm just going to bake it to soften it rather than, get the steam to steam it. I'm just going to put it in the oven because I've already got my oven going. And so I'm just I just kind of massage it a little bit with the olive oil, which is always good to soften it up. I have a baking sheet here. I'm just going to put it on the baking sheet. And then we'll put it in the oven and we'll let it bake. Again, this one is about 10 minutes, not as long as the other one. And now all we need to do is get rid of all this stuff and make our soup and our bowl. Right, let's start with the soup. Move some of this stuff out of the way. Now, to make our soup, we're going to get our Vitamix or our high-speed blender out, which is really handy to have a high-speed blender. And I have my roasted tomatoes now and my onion that I'm just going to add here. The magic of YouTube video. And so these are roasted already. I'm going to take my garlic that I've roasted. Now, I've seen people do this. I am not very good at it. But basically, all you do is squeeze the bulbs and the garlic should come out. So I'm going to try it. Oh, look, it's coming out. Squeeze it. Does that look yummy or what? Or what?
It kind of looks like you're grating cheese,
It's very mushy. Got to make sure you don't.
It smells really good, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you don't get the smell, huh? Now again, you can add salt to this, but I'm being salt free, so I didn't add any salt or pepper. I'm not a pepper fan. All right. I get to do my hands. I might need to actually wash my hands. They're pretty messy today. All right, that feels a lot better. All right, we're gonna put it on there, and we're going to add 2 cups of this is vegetable broth, and you can add it as you go. You can try a little less. You might like it thicker, or you might like it a little thinner. It's up to you. Let me check my quinoa while we're going. Going concern here. All right, much better. Just needed a little long time. We'll turn that off. Now, one thing to remember if you soak your quinoa before you cook it, which you should, you probably don't want to put the full amount of liquid in because it's already got the liquid in it from the soaking. So I cut mine back by about 2 cups. I cut it back to about 1 1/3 to 1 1/2 cups. And then I'm going to add in my broth here. We're back to the soup now. We're going to add that in, and we're just going to blend it up. We've got all our spices in there, and everything is ready to go. We'll check it out here, see how it's doing. Now, one of the interesting, so when it's hot, if you take it right out of the oven and it's still hot, it's probably going to be warm. And then if you blend it for a minute, it'll actually start warming up the soup. But after you're done, if you want hot soup, you can put it in a saucepan and put it on the stove and heat it up. Oh, and this is actually really smooth and silky. Oh. Perfect. So I could heat this up now if I would like. But I'm going to, it's actually pretty good. It's still warm. So I'm going to leave it. We're going to work on our bowl because we have our bowl. So let me just do, why is our tomato soup our immunity boosting tomato soup? So this is actually, the tomatoes are a great source of vitamin C. And vitamin C is one of those, and it's one of those immune boosting vitamins. It has antioxidants like lycopene, which actually help protect your cells from damage and support your healthy immune system. The roasted garlic is enhancing the natural immune boosting properties because garlic is known for its ability to stimulate the production of white blood cells. And those are your body's main defenders. Those are the soldiers against infections. And in addition, these spices like thyme and smoked paprika add anti-inflammatory benefits. And so this is a flavorful soup that is strengthening your immune system, and we can enjoy it. So I'm going to pour it into a cup and have a cup of soup. Yeah. Oops, that was not good. All right. And let's move on to cleaning up a little bit as we go. Let me just clean up. I've got my soup here. And now we're going to focus on our bowl. That sounds like a bird chirping.
Yeah, it's I can close the window. Is it too loud?
Oh, it's kind of adding a little character to our thing.
Okay.
We're making a little dressing. We'll start with the dressing. Again, really super simple dressing. I have some tahini here. I'm going to add some lemon juice to it. Some garlic. Oh, who doesn't like garlic? Oh, I know I like garlic. So I'm going to add some garlic that I crushed up. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of maple syrup for a little bit of sweetness, just a little bit. And then I have a little whisk that I can just whisk this up. It's going to make my little dressing here. And so, you know, it's pretty easy to make a dressing. It doesn't take much to it. And this needs a little more liquid. So I'm going to just add a little bit of my broth. It's pretty tasty. I want it to run. So it's pretty easy to make dressings and stuff. And you can buy healthy dressings at the store in the refrigerator section, usually in the produce section. But, you know, when you look at how easy it is just to make them yourself, I would encourage you to try making some of your own dressings. A little bit. All right, so this will be better. Have my little tahini dressing. All right, and let's make our bowl. Okay, I've got a little bowl today. We're going to start by adding some of our quinoa here into our bowl. Let me get a fresh one. I've got my quinoa here. It's nice and fluffy already. And then, you know, we've only been here, 20 minutes or something. So I'm going to use the quinoa as the base. I've got some quinoa. So I just added the quinoa. And I like, you know, it kind of has that, with the black quinoa, adds a nice little color to it. And then I'm going to add in my chickpeas. Just going to put them on here. I'm going to add in some sauerkraut here. Now, you can make your own sauerkraut really easy, and I do have a video on making sauerkraut, but I just bought some. You want to make sure if you're buying sauerkraut, which is okay, that you're buying sauerkraut that is organic, and also it's fermented. If you buy it in the condiment section of your grocery store, in the grocery shelves, it has been pasteurized and it doesn't have that fermented probiotics. So this is full of probiotics, which is really good for our gut and our immunity. I'm just going to add in some, and this is going to give it a tang, really nice tangy. And like I said, you can make your own very easy, like literally. It's just salt and cabbage. I'm going to add some in here. Be little pockets of flavor for us as well. And then I have my kale that I roasted. I'm going to add on top. Just a little bit of kale here. And this one I did roast in the oven, but it's not crisp, a little bit crispy on the edges, but most of it's still soft. And you can decide which way you want it, if you want it soft or crispy. All right, and we're going to add some avocado to finish it off. Let me get my avocado done. All I'm going to do is take, now the avocado will add some creaminess to it. And I'm just scoring it, like making little cubes. And all I need to do take my spoon and just basically scoop out the avocado pieces. And I've got nice avocado. We'll make a nice creamy dressing, part of the salad bowl. Oops. There we go. And then I'm just going to add my dressing. So I've got my tahini lemon dressing here. Just going to add it on top. I think the bird wants some. All right. You can add more if you'd like. And here is our bowl, ready to go.
You've got to do a taste test.
I do have to do a taste test, but first I'm going to tell you why it's immunity boosting. So, all right. So the kale has vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin K, which are all crucial for our strong immune response. The avocado provides our healthy fat that our body needs to help absorb the vitamins more effectively. The sauerkraut is our probiotic, which we should be eating to support our gut health. And it is way better than taking a probiotic pill. I highly recommend you get some probiotic foods, fermented foods. You can buy pickles, again, in the refrigerated section. They have to be fermented. You can get the sauerkraut. You could do kimchi if you like kimchi. There's miso. There's so many different kinds of fermented foods. And that is way better. The foods are always better than the supplements. And the chickpeas give us some plant-based protein, and they also have zinc in them, which further enhances our body's ability to fight off illness. And the tahini dressing is also perfect. Lots of calcium in tahini, which is great for us. So this is an immunity boosting green bowl here. All right. Now, I've got so many things here. Here's my fork. Ready for the taste test. I got to go all the way to the bottom, to the quinoa.
You want to get everything on the fork, huh?
Everything on the fork. That's the best. I don't think I got a piece of avocado. Ugh. Look at that. Is that a big piece or what? I have lots of kale. The kale is chewy. But good. It's good. I like it. Delicious. There's my lunch for today. All right. And I've got my soup too. Cheers for the soup. Easy lunch. All right. Any questions?
So if you don't particularly care for kale, I'm thinking maybe spinach.
Yeah, you could do spinach. Actually, you know what I did and I forgot about it is I had some carrots on the side to throw in to add a little bit of color. But yeah, you could put. So I would encourage you to try the kale and try roasting it. Or I know you don't like to use your oven. Or
Well, not during the summer. I mean, when it's so hot.
Or you could try steaming it. And just try it and see before you say, "Oh, I don't really want it." Just try. But yeah, you could use another leafy green for sure. Spinach is great. All right. Any other questions?
Not at this time. I have to try that soup. It looks so good
and so easy to make.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready for our 21-day detox challenge, which is coming up. And this recipe is easy peasy for your liquids to have soup when you're not eating your solid. So keep that in mind. And if you're interested in taking part in our detox challenge, there will be a link so that you can click on the link and sign up. It's coming. We're going to do our prep session on Tuesday next week. And then the following week, 21-day detox. All right. So I hope that you have enjoyed these recipes. Easy to make, easy immunity boosting. And we will be back on Monday with more of our Proven Cancer Strategies Revealed 90 Days to Cancer Resilience series. Until then, enjoy your weekend, enjoy being in the kitchen, and we'll stay resilient.